Have you ever found yourself trying to force situations in life as if you had control over everything? Maybe in a relationship, at work, or even with your own emotions. Often, we resist what's happening around us, believing we can shape everything according to our desires. But what if I told you that true peace comes when we learn to flow with the winds of life, without fighting them? In this video, our master, an ancient ninja, will guide us on a journey about the importance of not forcing what we cannot control. We'll explore ancient wisdom that can transform how you see your daily challenges. Stay with us and discover how this simple practice can bring more tranquility and harmony into your life. Are you ready to stop fighting the inevitable? On the shores of the serene Lake Biwa, the sound of gentle waves accompanied the master, an ancient ninja who had dedicated his life to the pursuit of wisdom. Sitting in silence, he observed the winds that effortlessly stirred the surface of the water. Life, he began, is like this lake. When we try to force the waves, we only create more turbulence. But when we let the wind take its course, the waters calm themselves. He took a deep breath, feeling the fresh, moist air around him. We are often like the disturbed waters, resisting, fighting, when all we need to do is accept and flow. The master then spoke of an ancient battle he fought when he was still young. At that time, I believed that brute force and determination could overcome any opponent. I forced every move, every strike, until I realized I was wearing myself out. True power didn't come from resistance but from adaptation. Like bamboo that bends with the wind, I learned to fight without fighting, to move without effort. He looked at the disciple, listening attentively. This is our story. It's not about forcing, but about knowing the right moment to act and the moment to simply be. At the top of a hill, under the shadow of blooming cherry trees, the master gazed at the horizon. In many situations in life, our first reaction is to want to control the outcome. We think that if we try hard enough, everything will go as we wish. But this only brings frustration. Just as the wind moves the cherry blossoms effortlessly, we must allow life to follow its course. When we accept the natural flow, anxiety and anguish disappear. The disciple, thoughtful, asked how he could apply this to his life. The master, with a slight smile, replied, "Observe the wind. It doesn't force its way. It simply finds the space where it can pass." The master then shared a valuable lesson. In our modern society, there is constant pressure to achieve goals, to always be productive. When we cling to these outcomes, we lose ourselves. Just like in the art of the sword, the secret isn't in force, but in the lightness of movement. When we release the need to control everything, we find true mastery. As he said this, he picked up a fallen leaf and let it fly with the breeze, a symbol of detachment and trust in the natural flow of life. The disciple recalled a recent situation where he had tried to force a relationship that wasn't working. He felt trapped, frustrated by his inability to change things. The master, listening in silence, finally said, "Forcing someone to change is like trying to hold back a river with your hands. You only tire yourself out and end up empty-handed. Accepting people and situations as they are allows us to find peace. When we stop fighting, we find the true path." In the background, the sound of the calm waters of the lake reinforced the wisdom of the master's words. Walking slowly through the fields, the master stopped in front of an old temple. He looked at the worn stones on the path and said, "The stone does not resist time. It simply adapts, changes, and transforms over the years. Life is the same. If we try to fight against time, against changes, we will only wear ourselves out. When we accept the flow of life, we find tranquility. That is what brings us balance." The stillness around the temple seemed to echo his words, bringing a sense of deep peace. To apply this wisdom to our daily lives, the master concluded, "Each of us faces daily battles, but not all should be won by force. Sometimes the greatest triumph is in letting go, in accepting what we cannot change. When we stop forcing, we find solutions that once seemed impossible. True power lies in lightness, in the fluidity with which we live our lives. And for those watching and listening, know that you too are part of this lesson. Join us in the next story and together, we will continue exploring the path of wisdom. Like, share, and spread this message to those you feel need to hear it.